Alright, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you how I automate the build process for my CMake projects on GitHub Actions for both Mac and Windows. When I push code to GitHub, it builds Mac, VST3, and AU. It creates installers and it uploads the installers to GitHub Actions. And then for Windows, it builds the VST3 and uploads that. I don't have to compile anything manually when I'm ready to release. I just push the latest change and GitHub Actions takes care of it for me. GitHub Actions is GitHub's automation engine. It's a virtual machine that runs on GitHub servers. It can be used for any type of project because you just pass it terminal commands, so it can do pretty much anything that you would do on your own machine. For me, it builds my Juice plugins, packages installers, and generates the artifacts. For public repos, you get unlimited runtime with Actions, but for private repos, you have unlimited amount of run minutes. I think it's somewhere around 10,000 minutes or something like that. I'm not sure. But if you have a GitHub organization that you pay for every month, you get more run minutes for your private repos. Our project already has the workflow file, but this is how you would create it on a new project. Go to Actions right here. You'll see this page and you say set up a workflow yourself. It will auto-populate a main.yaml, so commit those changes and then pull them on your machine. If we go to CLine now, after we pull the changes, we can see our main.yaml file, and this is where we're going to put all the build instructions. All right, let's start populating the build file. Okay, so we name it build juice plugin, and this is just the display name for the workflow inside of Actions. We create an environment variable called project name, and this is just a global variable that I can reuse the project name everywhere. So like the folder paths, installer names, stuff like that. If I ever rename my plugin or copy and paste this file into a new project, I can change it in one place. On push branches, this controls when the pipeline runs. Here I'm saying run the workflow every time I push to the main branch. So let's add some actual jobs. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with our Mac job. So this will run on GitHub's macOS virtual machine. So let's add our first command. So now we use the keyword uses, which is a pre-made action on GitHub Actions, and then we set it to recursively pull the juice submodules with the repository checkout. You're probably going to want to do this on every single project that has Git submodules embedded. Okay, now we'll install all of our dependencies, which in our case is just CMake. So the GitHub Actions runner is not going to have pretty much anything on it by default. So you're going to have to install all of your stuff as if this was a new machine. Okay, on Mac, all of the developer build tools are part of Xcode, so we need to use it to build on the runner. So this will ensure that the workflow uses the correct Xcode target. If it doesn't, your build pipeline will probably fail. And as you go into the future and create more projects, you will eventually probably need to change this version number right here. Okay, so here is a command to clear any CMake caches. I've had weird issues in the past that required this, so I just copy and paste it into every project now. Okay, here's our actual CMake build commands. The configure CMake will generate the Xcode project and sets it to build a universal binary, and then this command actually compiles it. Okay, creating installers on Mac is pretty easy. Using the package build commands, you generate an AU installer and a VST installer, and each one uses your project name variable. And lastly, we just need to upload those artifacts, and what this will do is create a download link on the action run page that you can download. All right, that's it for Mac. Pretty easy. Let's move on to Windows. Very similar to Mac, we are going to say build Windows, and this will run on Windows latest as well. So let's put all of our steps. Just like Mac, we check out the repository recursively. And similar to setting up Xcode on Mac, we do the same thing with MS Build on Windows. And then we need to actually install the Windows SDK so that it can compile C++ code. And here's our last dependency. This is going to install CMake. Okay, just like Mac, we're going to clear the CMake cache just in case. Then we're going to configure CMake very similar to the Mac command, and then we're going to do the same exact build command. Okay, lastly, we zip the folder of the build and then we upload that. I'm not doing an installer for this one. On Windows, you need to pay for a much more expensive code signing certificate than you do on Mac, and it doesn't even bypass the warning, the install warning on Windows Defender until you have enough downloads of your product and the signing authority knows that you're legit. So I have just been uploading it as a zip file, and most people know how to install the plugin themselves. So that's that for Windows. That's pretty much done. We can now push these changes and see the build. All right, full disclosure, I recorded this entire video 2 times because the first time I didn't have any audio in. So that's why you're going to see the pipeline already built. So we're going to go into this workflow that ran successfully, and you're going to see your artifacts down here. So here's the Mac AU and VST3 installer, and then here is the Windows zip. Now you can download these to your computer, and then you can send it out to however you deploy your plugins, whether it be some kind of store or Google Drive or whatever you do. Okay, that's it. That's how you can use GitHub Actions to automate the build process for your project in Mac and Windows. You can use this exact same procedure for any type of project, especially for CMake. You can use the same build commands and configure commands, whether it's an audio plugin or a game or a console app or whatever it is you're making. I hope you all enjoyed this video and able to implement it yourself. Let me know down in the comments if you have any issues. You can also join my Discord server if you want to ask questions directly to me there, and the link for that is in the video description. All right, that's it. Consider subscribing to me on Patreon to help support me continuing making videos and free plugins. You get some cool perks as a Patreon member. I've got certain tiers able to see free code resources, and I've also got a tier for allowing you to submit code to me for code review. And if you have any other ideas for Patreon perks, let me know. Here's all my current Patreon subscribers, and I thank them very much for their support. I live stream my coding sessions on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope to see some of you there. All right, see you next time.